Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy, and another Friday. Hopefully your sales have been decent. Unfortunately for many, I can report there's a lot of folks out there who have reported slow sales, and it is very demoralizing when you're trying to run a business and there's just no consistency whatsoever with your sales. And I spoke with Josh Gulp today. Actually, we had a little discussion. He gave me a call before he went live. He was actually a little late for his live because of it. And we had a really good discussion. And we started talking about the current state, of eBay, and, the idea of his situation with eBay, having a meeting with eBay, Kevin's situation, having a meeting with eBay, and not really knowing what's going to become of it. And I think if you watch my video today, I put out, it's sort of covering what I think the current state of eBay is, which is confusion and transition at the same time. So confusion on our part as sellers trying to figure out what eBay expects from us, and transition on the eBay side. And we're all sitting here scrambling, trying to figure it out to the point where reaching out to CEOs and VPs and all this stuff. So hopefully between Josh, Kevin, and the rest of the YouTuber community, we can get you guys some answers, and of course give ourselves some answers, because this is my secondary thing. Of course, eBay is always and will be my first concern throughout my day. But of course, sharing information with you guys and discussing eBay kind of keeps me focused on the reselling part of it. So it's good to have this little thing that we call YouTube to share information. Real quick, we have Guide Guru. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for all you do, guys. Well, thank you for the super chat. Excellent. Appreciate that. It's one of those things where if you enjoy what you do, it's not a problem. We enjoy doing it. It's our life. It's just the reality. This is what we do. And if you're off doing 20 or 30 different things, it's easy to get to push eBay on the back burner. But this is our life is focused around this daily. But yeah, this conversation that I had with Josh was one where we're sitting there trying to figure it out. There's two guys that have a lot of experience both in the managerial corporate side of things, dealing with corporate in our previous jobs, and also resellers who've gone through a lot of reselling issues. And while he was on the phone, this is why I think he was late for his show, because we got into this compelling thing where I'm trying to figure out, okay, if eBay search is the problem. Okay, I think a lot of people have said, look, when I try to pull up my item, I can't find it in search. And I tried that on my main account, didn't see a one. I was ranked high in almost every search. My other account, different story. I was buried in a sea of listings because I have a lot of saturated items and that kind of thing. So that didn't surprise me much. But when I went back to my main account, now yesterday I had a really bad sales day. I had $100 in sales. For me, that's bad. It was like my second or third worst sales day in the last month. Okay. Normally I'm about $400 to $500. Good days are 6 to 7. So yesterday was not a good day at all. And I'm looking at my traffic. Now, before you get all worked up about, well, traffic means nothing. It's there for a reason. eBay puts this information for us to see and to use. And so I'm looking at my traffic for yesterday, my $100 day. I had the most traffic yesterday than any other day of the month. And it's not even close. Okay. Well, we have one Thursday a week ago where we actually did perform, but my traffic was off the charts yesterday, but I only managed to get 2 sales for $100. How does that even make sense? Okay, so something is going on. Now, if you're saying, and I want you to check your traffic, really, if you feel like your search results are not showing up for you, I want you to check your traffic. Because if you're showing good traffic, yet you can't find your own item in search, then something else is going on or something is badly broken. And my suspicion is this stuff we're looking at here, we call our traffic report, I think it's badly broken. Because how can I have a 24.9% increase in page views and it's not even close to any other day, and I get such a bad result in sales? It just, for an account that has consistently done well over the last 7-8 months with the same type of items. So either the traffic's broken, more so than the search also could be broken, could be a combination of things, but that's the current state of eBay, and it's confusion. We're trying to figure out what's going on. What business do you know where the business owner really can't pinpoint why they're struggling with their performance? Now, I'm not going to complain. I mean, my performance as compared to the last 8 months is probably down like 5 to 10%. So it's not that bad. And here comes a return. Isn't that awesome? Oh, okay, return delivered. That's even better. So what business can you tell me about where the owners really have no clue what's going on? And it isn't because they're not involved in the business. It's because the backbone and the infrastructure and the statistical part of things aren't right. They aren't correct. We all know it's not correct, but I'm hopeful that eBay is watching this to see, and I'm going to put a video out on this probably over the weekend to show you, because it's much different to look at it than it is to hear me babble on about it. But I think something's broken with the traffic currently. Now, the video or the live stream, we're talking about the future of reselling is bright. Doesn't sound so bright when I'm sitting here complaining about how confused we are and the transition of eBay and all that stuff. But the fact that, and I talked about this morning on the video, touched on it, the fact that eBay is reaching out and willing to have discussions. Now, is it just to placate the loud voices like myself or Josh or Kevin on these issues? And I'm probably the loudest mouth of the three. But is it to placate us and to shut us up, sort of like we call into eBay to get some help and they give us those kind words, they put a little happy face on it and just want us to go away? Or do they really, really want to work with the sellers to figure out what is going on? I would hope it's the latter. And I am optimistic that it's the latter. And I see a lot of signs that point to that's what's happening. But the biggest problem, if eBay would have at the beginning communicated to us of all these things that's happening in the background, of course, without going into all the details that they make people sign NDAs for, but just in general, what's happening, I'm sure that a lot of us would kind of chill out and we wouldn't be as upset and we would just go with the flow, even though our sales would still suck. We would just know why it's happening. I can tell you, I just read a story on Fox Business yesterday, came out yesterday, and it says study finds 75% of U.S. adults expect job pool to shrink due to AI. And that's within the next decade. And it is sad. And if you think about it, 75% of the job pool, what are people going to do to work? Now, 19% that were polled, it was 5,400 people that were polled. 19% felt like nothing was going to change, and 6% thought that jobs would increase. But 75% of people thought that the AI was going to cause the job pool to shrink. That's alarming, guys. And I don't know about you, but it makes me feel a little bit better about reselling, because who's going to automate going to a yard sale? Who's going to automate going and picking up stuff, picking up pallets of stuff, going to bin stores, going to Goodwill or wherever thrift store you go to? That can't be automated, okay? And people in the future are going to still have needs and wants. And my only concern is eBay going to step up and keep their market share and increase their market share, or are they going to kind of fall into line with the Mercaris, the Poshmarks, the Etsy's and other sites. And let's hope they don't ever fall into the line of Bonanza world, because that's unfortunate. But if you look at their numbers, the loss of buyers, loss of sellers on the platform, it's trending that way. And I want nothing more than to see eBay succeed, because look, I as much as I sit up here and complain and tell you how I feel about the platform, and a lot of times I'm disappointed, I'm upset. I also give them their flowers when they do well. I need eBay to succeed. I mean, I can't see doing the type of sales that I'm currently, or I have been doing this year, on any other platform. You put your stuff on Mercari, it's like a yard sale. You can't get anywhere near the price that you're able to get on eBay. Poshmark's pretty good. You can get a little bit more markup, I think, for the stuff you put on Poshmark, but the volume of traffic just isn't there. So, guys, I'm concerned, but I'm actually more optimistic than concerned. It's kind of a mixed bag, but I want to know what you guys think in the chat, and or if you're watching us after the fact, what you think in the comments. And I just want to know, what do you think the future of not only reselling is going to look like, but how is eBay going to look? I mean, are they going to right the ship? Are they going to continue down this path where they're going to push smaller sellers away? And I hope that's not the case, because
AI can't do what we do.
Right.
They can't do the sourcing. They can't do a lot of things that we do. You know, they can't test the used items to make sure that they work, you know.
Well, there's no question in my mind that, reselling is still going to be a thing down the road. But does that mean a lot of people are going to be losing jobs and gravitating over to reselling, and causing reselling to be even more saturated than it is? So, you may think right now selling clothes is a saturated market, but wait till, we lose a good chunk of jobs in this world because of automation. And, your neighbor sees that you're killing it with sales on eBay, and they want a piece of that pie too. And they're going to infringe. And at that point, you're going to be competing with close friends and maybe neighbors or anyone that you might know that's out of a job. So,
well, I know our neighbors wonder what the hell goes on over there, because they see our garage and they're like,
well, they don't see any weird smoke coming up through the chimney or like a meth lab or anything. So I think that I think they know that we're on the up and up. But it's one of those things where resellers, we really don't share what we do with people. There's like a stigma attached to it. I sometimes do, but people don't generally, because we're not really close with our neighbors, generally don't ask us, well, what are you guys doing? And the times that people do, like when I go play golf and they ask, and just being friendly, hey, I'm going to be playing golf with you for the next 4 hours. What do you do for a living? And you tell them, yeah, I'm a reseller. And they kind of look at you funny, because they don't understand.
Because they don't understand.
Right. And so that's going to become, I think, more normalized as we get through, the next 5 to 10 years. That's my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. All right. So the Thrifty Loon says second, but I don't see a first. So that means you're probably first.
You're first.
You got here early. Biscuit Butt says the future of eBay is bright, should be a question, not a statement. I think it's, in my opinion, I'm not going to put a question mark on it because I'm optimistic. If I was truly, concerned like that, I would put a question mark behind it. But I really think that the future of reselling is going to be bright. But will it be saturated? That's the only concern I have going forward. Let's see. Maya says, hi, everyone. I had to ask myself if this title was for real.
We have to be optimistic. We need to be positive if we want to see positive things going on in our futures. If you're constantly, badgering eBay and you're constantly, just talking in a negative sense about your business, where are you going to end up? It's not going to look very nice for you.
Right.
You have to take the good with the bad. And in our house, going forward more in the positive direction is where we need to be. Otherwise, the business will go down the shitter, and nobody wants that.
Okay. Well, and I was thinking about this. about a year and a half ago. Was it a year and a half ago, or is it more than that? Everything's a year and a half ago to me. I believe when we had the fiasco of 2020, was it 2020, where a lot of sellers lost their photos in Q4, the fall seller update. Okay. And I believe one of the videos I put, and I remember talking about, why does eBay have to do all this for Q4? So now we're dealing with stuff we shouldn't have to be dealing with in Q4. Why can't they just do this kind of stuff during the slow period, the summer slowdown? And I'm wondering, I don't know, they may have watched the video, but wondering if they're taking heed of that advice. And a lot of people reporting like April 1st and on have been having problems. Maybe they're doing road work, like road work at 2 a.m. Well, it's kind of that idea. Maybe instead of doing it during late Q3, Q4, they started, mid to late Q2 into Q3 during the summer months. That way it didn't impact the peak season. I'm hopeful that's what that is. That's all you can be, is hopeful that they're doing something right.
I just think there's a lot of jobs out there that cannot be automated. There's just not. There are a lot that can, but there are a lot that cannot. And unfortunately, if you're not in the field that cannot, those that are going to be, in the future having to struggle with the AI issue. But as far as what we do, selling used items, vintage items, old items, they can't do what we do. They don't have the capacity to put their hands on the physical product and test it and clean it and do all the things that we do. It's just impossible.
Shalami Shamich says, word of the day.
The shitter.
Thank you. I appreciate the super chat.
Thank you.
See, I don't know who this is. I know of a No One Design 2. I don't know of a No One Design. I've never met No One Design, just the one.
That's No One Design. Well, first of all, we're booping the nose of the doggy.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. What would you guys do if you didn't resell and you didn't have, some of you have jobs that you go to, but if you didn't resell and you lost that job, or if you didn't resell at all, what would you imagine right now you'd be doing? I think many of us probably couldn't answer that question. I don't know what I'd be doing, honestly. I'm so far removed from the workforce. We're talking now going on over 4.5 years. All this experience that I have, all the trophies that I won at my other job mean nothing. It's irrelevant. I'm so far removed. I couldn't get more than maybe a supervisor job at Del Taco or something. But
you say that, but you don't give yourself enough credit. I think you are a very, very intelligent man,
well,
and somebody would swoop you up.
Well, thank you. I'll give you that $20 later, honey. Thank you. But I got a pair to say nice things about me.
No, those super chats will come.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome. But yeah, I wonder, what would you do if you weren't reselling? What would you do if one day reselling got so bad it wasn't even worth doing? I guess at first maybe driving Uber Eats, right? That's what we were trying to do to make ends meet, to supplement.
I don't want to have to ever go back to that.
Yeah. So I got to appreciate the reselling. I got to appreciate what we have with eBay. It could be a lot worse, guys. It could be a lot more broken than it is. And let's just hope that eBay is really willing to not only listen, but to follow through with some of the things that are being said to them.
Right. And I just lost my train of thought.
The key word was right. I like that.
Stop.
So
it was good too.
Oh, well, then keep thinking. You might find it. All right. Let's see. Maya says, but even watching a lot of other videos are negative overall.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
That they're going to be negative overall?
You're right. And that needs to change. And let's hope that whatever comes out of Josh's conversation and Kevin's conversation is beneficial to the sellers and to eBay, not just to the buyers. It needs to be the more we come together and share our feedback, instead of just always ragging on eBay and saying this broke and that broke and this broke. We don't want to hear that anymore. We want.
Wait, go ahead and finish your thought.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, finish. Go.
Well, I want to interject real quick. I'm sorry for interjecting.
You can't stop my train.
No. But I got to tell you, you got to have channels like this and others that do report things that are happening. People can't, without these kind of channels, I think that's the benefit. Like, oh, search isn't working. Okay, well, I now know that's why, I'm not making sales, hypothetically, right? Or this is happening. Oh, this could explain why I'm having sales where, last week was great. So you got to be, I think, honest. And sometimes if you're reporting the honest facts of what's going on with the platform, it does come off as negative because there's frustration there.
No, I agree with you. But see, we share all of it. We have nothing to hide. When we have a shitty day, and we tell you about it. When we have a great day, we have a great day. Mm-hmm. And we tell you about it. When something, crazy happens in our reselling world, we tell you, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. Right. It's just, that's who we are, and that's who we always will be, And I think that, the conversation that they're having with these eBay people, let's hope and keep our fingers crossed that they listen and that they're willing to hear the feedback from the community.
Right. But aside from seeing results or positive changes on the site down the road, will we ever really know what's either been asked or said or
right? We need transparency. eBay needs to be more transparent. Right. They don't say anything about anything, whether it's broken or fixed or in repair. We have no idea what's going on the back end, and all we are left with is just either bitching about it, complaining about it, or explaining to people, okay, this is what happened to me today.
Right.
And seeing, hey, did that happen to you today? We need more transparency.
But it's communication, and I would rather, at least for the short term, see eBay fix the communication side of things over anything else, because I'd like to think, and there's a lot of people who will shoot me down here for saying it, and on some level I'd like to think of myself as a partner in the process. Yes, I know that I'm just a small peon and I am just a pimple on the butt of eBay, and and once they pop it, I'm gone. Okay, and they'll move on and life goes on for them. So but I know that I'm just nothing more than an employee, and employees are on a need to know basis, and that's exactly how eBay treats us, unfortunately. And
it's sad to say that's exactly how we were treated in our corporate job.
But that can change, right?
It needs to change.
And we shouldn't have to ask Josh or Kevin to blink 5 times if it's good news, or funny, by the way, something else 10 times if it's bad news. They should be, forget this NDA stuff, and I understand why they do it, but what's the point of it if Josh and Kevin are the only ones that know what's going on? Mm-hmm. We're all still left here wondering what's happening. So yes, it's a start, but it isn't at all close to what we need it to be.
No, but they have to start somewhere. And if this is the start that they think they are needing or getting, then that we have to take what we can get with eBay.
Right.
And if this is their, them, reaching out with the olive branch, then it needs to be done.
Now we're less than 2 weeks away from eBay Open. Now, based on my experience with previous eBay Opens and eBay seller check-ins, they don't really, they just put a blanket over the bad stuff and just put happy faces over everything. And when you ask them challenging questions about what's going on, I'll get back to you on that, and they never get back to you on that. So I wonder, for those of you who are going to be attending eBay Open in some fashion, if it's going to be more of the same. I hope not, because at some point, the elephant in the room, you have to address the elephant in the room. And for me, without the communication changing, it's just going to get worse. So let's just hope and be positive and try to be positive about all of it. Maya says, anyone else here getting sales on Mercari today? I've had 4 sales over here today, and I'm thinking it must be because the 10% coupon they just sent out. Now, that could be.
That could be.
But, I mean.
But we haven't sold anything, and I've been cross-listing like a crazy woman.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand why. I've gotten a couple likes, but who gives a about those?
Yeah, well, it's hard to get likes when you don't like the stuff you're selling in the first place.
Yeah.
So, I can't say we're selling the best stuff on Mercari on that other store.
No,
so
but still.
Yeah, but still. And for me, it's a long road to get there. I'm still focusing, of course, keeping the main store where we have it, and starting to gradually maybe either get rid of that crap and add better stuff to that store. I just hesitate to get rid of that second store at some point because I think it's added a whole lot of value to our discussions and things I would never try with my main account.
Well, no, I don't think we get rid of it. I just think that we get rid of the freaking crap.
Yeah, well, I think that's everyone's goal. Sandra says, hello, John and Jenna and FAE family, and then also Baubles, Blings, and Needful Things. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that. We have Andy in the house, so thanks for being here, Andy. And Jovial Juggler says, I've been whining about these issues for months. Just wish so many fellow resellers weren't having the same issues, but glad they're being exposed in hopes they will be resolved.
Yep,
I mean,
all we can hope for.
The day of technology, it's a lot different than it was 10 years ago. We have more data, more of us are communicating these things than we ever have. And it's hard for eBay to sweep these things under the rug. I'm sure that it does not look good to their shareholders and other folks when that's all these channels are talking about. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be, wow, I made $1,000 a day on eBay, but you're seeing less and less of those videos.
If eBay should want us to be talking highly of them and saying, oh, we had $1,000 day today. This weekend we made $5,000. Wouldn't that be like, wow, everybody would want to sell on eBay, and then when they would get all the fees that they could ever want.
Yeah. Jovial Juggler says, can I get a little George Michael Faith music in the background? Well, I would sing it for you, but it would sound so close that I'd get hit with the copyright strike. No. So I'm not going to do that. Andy says, hello to all my wonderful FAA family. How's it going for everyone? Good. Hopefully things are
starting to cool down, you guys. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, summer, I guess summer with eBay and Vegas just doesn't go together very well. No yard sales,
really irritable.
Yeah, you kind of want to hibernate just to get away from it all. Callie Deb says, hello there, everyone. I hope you're all getting sales. I hope you guys are.
Red Relic said he was first.
Yeah, but I don't know. Someone can make that argument who just didn't even comment, so I'm not going to have that argument. So you guys, I'll just call you all first responders, okay? Let's see. Guide Guru says, I had one today. I had noticed that my watchers have picked up way up, running at 10% store-wide sale. Kind of Nick's doing that since I started promoting higher. And for me, I don't put a whole lot of stock into watchers because those could be other resellers that are saying, oh, look, this guy has this item and want to know more about it because I'm about to list mine. And they're constantly looking at your listing as reference. So I don't put a whole lot of stock into the watcher thing, but as long as you're getting sales, that's all that matters. All these stats of, how many page views, how many impressions. I wanted to think that they're, things that I can look at to see kind of how things are going, but I don't even think I can trust it anymore.
I can't trust it. I mean, to go to looking at what our page views were yesterday and then compare them to our sales, that just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, 3 times the page views on Thursday, $100 day, as compared to the day before, Wednesday. Now, watch this. Wednesday, we had a third of the page views and we had $600 in sales.
It makes no sense.
So there's
somebody in the back room fiddling with something and making all these, the red down and the green up and
somebody make it make sense, because I can't make sense of it. Let's see. Jovial says, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your algo I know not everyone has got an algo like you, but I got to think twice. Oh, that she's singing George Michael.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I guess it would be nice if I would touch your algo. No, that doesn't work.
Wow.
A rural squirrel says, hey, thanks for
Hi,
being
Kristen.
here. And Noah Design, or as we know, otherwise known as Salami Sandwich, says, hey, John and Jenna. A lot of
their faces.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay. So it's all Google gobbly.
Yeah. It looks like this.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah. Looks like that Pink Box donut shop. Yeah. Let's see. Don't mind me. I'm just doing my impression. Art Betzold says, hello, everyone. And Rad Relic says, I had one day over $800 this week, but overall sales have been in a slump.
And you know, we don't really look at the day to day. If we're down today, we might be up tomorrow. Yeah. So it all averages out, and it sucks to look at, but at the end of the week, we know that we did okay. You know, we did well. Yeah.
And I know 3 days straight, up until yesterday, picking up carloads of stuff. We have the merchandise. We have the same, lot of good stuff, and crickets. I don't know what's going on. Joy Goodnow says, hello, everyone.
Nobody wanted a toilet.
But that's what people think. But I haven't bought a toilet in a while. I think I bought a rolling toilet. Okay, well, we get a lot of different things. Joe Samard says, howdy, y'all. And like I was saying, Joy says, hello.
Hello, Joy.
Henri Squaw says, howdy. And Kim Sharp says, hello, everyone. I missed the last couple of lives, so glad to be here for this one.
Well, I hope that you're doing well, Kim.
Jacqueline B says, good evening. Hi, everyone. And Jerry Johnson.
Jerry, hi.
Flippin' Con Marco says, hey, John and Jenna and the rest of the FA family. Hope everyone had a groovy week. Let's get them sales. And then Maya says, it would be nice if eBay listened. I remember the Posh search engine debacle a few years ago. Buyers and seller reached out and complained. They changed the algorithm back. Wish eBay would too. I do. I'm optimistic that eventually they're going to finally hear what we have to say, but we'll see. Biscuit Butt says, and we all have faith in this transition because eBay has been on top of so many other issues they promised. LOL. They're still having issues with the whole instant payment thing. You know, we're still waiting for that fun one. Gail Carlson says, hello, John and Jen and all the Flippin' family.
You're gonna add words.
I was adding to it. Yeah, I was doing my best AI impression of item specifics. I was going to add that in there. No One Design says, whoa, is it just me or did John get older and Jenna get younger? Camera magic. Yeah, it's the magical innovations of the Flippin' Ain't Easy show.
Yeah.
Biff.
No, it's a glitch.
Biff says, I'm afraid there will be no answers. This is just a low-cost PR stunt to attempt to keep eBay from hemorrhaging sellers. They need to fix the search. Right. It could be because, again, if they're told you can't say anything about this conversation and the conversation is a bunch of goose eggs and they get, well, we really don't got nothing for you, but you can't talk about that. Are we ever going to really learn anything about it? Now, I know Kevin's going to have a video, but what is he really able to say? Because I really doubt that they told him much of anything, because I believe they said he had to sign an NDA, even though someone said that he didn't. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to stay tuned. And
he said he did.
I thought he did, but I guess we'll have to stay tuned for that to find out exactly what's going down. Lawrence Trombley says, safe to say it's longer the size of your store. That being said, do we still need to list every day to keep an account active? So the larger stores, it used to be, and I think this is where the change went from. It went from eBay sees that you sell 10 items a day, right? And that you've averaged that over a certain period of time with your large store. Let's just say 1,000 items. So eBay is going to be consistently providing that kind of sale traffic to you. The idea of enough traffic to get 10 sales. They don't make the sales happen. They just provide the traffic. And that's why some days when things are going right, you'd have 15 sales one day, 7 sales the next, 10 sales this day, 5 sales the next, 15 sales, and so forth. But it all averages out. And that has gone more over to now, instead of what sales you've done daily, it's what is the sell-through rate of the store that you have. And the larger stores that were getting, some are getting like 100 sales a day and are down to a fraction of that because their sell-through rate is a lot lower, or has been very low, but the algorithm is now focusing more on that than anything else. Now, I would say, because eBay is still that little kid that wants to spend time with their daddy, and you got to take it to the mall, take it to the park, and help it with its homework, and you got to give it daily attention. And whatever that attention is, for me, it's more listing and account maintenance than anything else. But some kind of daily attention, sending offers. People, you get offers to watchers, right? And you don't do anything with it. Well, I think those are missed opportunities. And if you don't do those, send those offers to watchers in a timely manner, those people have probably already moved on and found the item they're looking for. So it's being a seller and responding to the platform in a timely manner is
like
going
when
to
somebody
be.
puts a question in the thing and it takes you like 45 minutes to get to the question.
But I think that people actually expect
I'm teasing
that.
you.
Is that a tease? It went way over my head.
Yeah,
So went over my head.
Woo!
But
who's the blonde?
I guess. But I'm not even gonna go there. So I'm not even gonna go there. So
you better watch yourself.
You're losing my train of thought here. So I guess what I'm saying is that you want to be consistent, but you got to start focusing. And we talk about ASP. Well, ASP and sell-through rate are two different things, but it is generally, I'd say more often than not, that if you have higher ASP things that have more value equals demand in many cases. And even though they're not necessarily the same. So your sell-through rate is the most important. If you got $10 things that are selling like hotcakes, why would you stop selling them? Because I'm sitting here saying you should sell $20 to $30 items. So not everyone's in that ballpark though. And you've got to figure out where you're at in that equation. And if you have neither of those things, neither high ASP or high sell-through, you're in trouble with the way the things are now. You can't get away with selling. You'll get sales, but you won't be consistent with sales if you're just selling the same old. Thrift and Flip says, hey everyone, thanks for being here. And Guy Guru says, I judge my traffic mostly by watcher rate. But then again, is that organic traffic? How many of those are sellers that are trying to piggyback off your listing?
Yeah.
Roman, Anytime Picker says, Archie realized that YouTubing ain't easy and decided to just advertise his eBay store by giving out his stickers at all Las Vegas casinos. Yeah, the ones that were hacked, right? The ones that the MGM and the Caesars Casino, how they're hand paying people and taking an hour. Someone wants to like leave a machine and go to another machine. You have to wait up to an hour just to get your money so you can move on to the next machine. I couldn't imagine wanting to come to Vegas right now. Let's see. CJ says, is there just more people posting product on eBay? I don't necessarily think that's the case. I mean, eBay has reported a loss of sellers and buyers. So no, I think it's just a combination of just everything. And you've got the economy. People, still need to know that's a thing. I mean, inflation's still much higher than it was a year or 2 years ago. People are struggling, and that's part of the equation. But when you have problems on the platform, when you have changes on the platform that, without channels, on YouTube that talk about this kind of thing, I mean, would you probably have quit by now? Some of you might have said, okay, it's maybe me, I guess I'll quit, when it wasn't you. And I'm not saying that for everyone, but for some people it wasn't them or it isn't them. And some people, you don't have the kind of items that are going to sell on the platform.
And just think of all the people that do sell on the platforms but don't watch YouTube, so they have no idea.
Yeah. And how many of those people are quitting because it's just not working out? I can go do something else and make more money than this. Biff says, we have gone so far down the rabbit hole with theories and conspiracies that we have lost sight of a very simple answer. eBay is coding nightmare. They keep adding stories to a weak foundation. And I think there's a lot of truth to that because this is a very, very old platform, very old infrastructure. And it reminds me of the story of the place that we used to work at. And I was trying to have a discussion. This is when I was helping to beta test and develop a process that they put into place eventually but they had to help me understand what we were dealing with. And I didn't understand it until they sent me an email, and it had an attachment to it. And it had this little box. And that was the mainframe platform that's been with us since like this company since like the 80s, right? The early 80s, late 80s. And this little box had lines to about 1,000 different things, right? So if they go in there and they got rid of that little box and replaced it with something else that was more modern, it would break everything that it was attached to. That's kind of what we're dealing with here. So I think what we're seeing is eBay with good intentions changing something within that box, or with not changing it out altogether, but just trying to manipulate something coding in that box to affect something else, but it's affecting something else. And my only thought is take eBay offline for a week. Develop in the background. Let us sell with this old platform and get a new one built on the side. And then when it's time to swap it out, turn this one off and turn the new one on. After you've beta tested it, don't use me for your beta tester. Okay, put that in its place. We're off of eBay for a week, and then we get back on eBay. Everything's brand new and fresh and pretty, and it works.
Yeah.
Maybe that's easier said than done, but that, in my mind, is...
Well, I just think it's time that eBay invests in eBay, and they invest in their systems. It's time. It's way past time. They haven't done so, and they just keep putting patches everywhere that break one thing or another every other day.
But what does that do to their stock prices? What does that do to their bottom line? And what those people who are accountable to the shareholders, what position does that put them in? I think that's the big problem. And unfortunately, it comes down to that, I think. Biscuit Butt says, I don't trust the reports at all. Pointless to even look at it. I care about sales. If you have tons of traffic and no sales, how does that tell you anything? I mean, it doesn't. But, it's like this. You have a business, a brick and mortar business somewhere. Wouldn't you want to have an idea of how much foot traffic you have walking by your store, and how many people are just walking by your store, not stopping into your store? Because, you can do things about, maybe do things within your store, or displays or advertisements to get people in your store. But if they're saying that I'm killing it, people are looking at my listings left and right, but no one's buying, and that's not accurate. I could be sitting here spending time, maybe manipulating. Maybe my listings are fine and the report's bad, but I'm doing all this stuff to correct listings because I think something's wrong. People are looking at my listings, but they're not buying it. So, I could be one of those sellers that overreact and, drop my prices by 30% when that was never the issue. Mm-hmm. So I rely on that information because as a business owner, I need as much data as I can to make an informed decision. Noah Designs says, Jenna's hair is all fun and bouncy, so that means Jenna is feeling happy today. Not a coincidence when Jenna's hair is flat. Sad Jenna.
Sometimes I wear my hair flat. Yeah. And it doesn't mean I'm sad. It just means I didn't want to take the time to do any curls.
Bearded PokeTuber says, Roman, I will help you sell Boeing shoes for third time if they come back again. Biscuit Butt says, I don't think more people posting is at it all. We are all selling different and unique items. It is impossible for us to all selling the same items. Well, for all of us to sell the same items, right? It's impossible. But as the market, as resellers gravitate towards reselling, the people right now are working 9-to-5s, and in a year from now are going to be reselling. How saturated is the market going to continue to be for some people? And I think that's one of the biggest problems with reselling, putting the traffic issues and the search issues aside, is trying to succeed when you're dealing with saturation. Let's see. Maya says, John, I will say almost every sale I've gotten this week is organic and not promoted. I'm promoting at 5.5%. My impressions, page views are steady the whole week. Not sure what to think right now. Well, I can tell you this. If you stop promoting, they're going to stop putting your listings inside other people's listings. I hate the idea of even having that, but if we're all playing the game, you're at a huge disadvantage when your item isn't getting as many impressions as your competitors, your competition. And I think we need to think of the business that we're running. We're competing against other people. Some of you are competing that are watching this live right now are competing amongst each other. Yet, you're getting along, having a great time, but you're competition against one another. And I think we need to start looking at it as we are competing for the sale, and you have to do everything you can to stay in front of your competition. Otherwise, your sales are going to drop. And does that mean maybe for me, I've drawn a 10% cap in promoted listing rates? Maybe it's because I'm not playing the game beyond 10% is why I'm starting to see that my sales are dropping. I mean, again, I think Biff said it earlier. All we can do is sit here and guess. We can sit here and I can maybe put a bunch of reasons in a bowl and just pick them out and say, well, maybe it's because of this, or maybe it's because of that. But we're never really going to know until someone comes out and says, look, guys, we want you to succeed, and here's what we're doing to help you get there. Just chill out, and I would be good with that. Dan Cruz says, tried to search for an item yesterday. Wouldn't come up. Never had that happen before, ever. Glitch. No, it's happening to a lot of people. Yeah. And you could call it a glitch, but it could be just the way they've set this thing up. From what I understand, their AI is now more involved. It's not just in playing a word game with your listing to make an item description. eBay is implementing AI into everyday things like search. So it'll take like, you let's say you buy fishing equipment, okay? And maybe last year you bought a bunch of fishing equipment. Well, you don't need it now, but you're looking for, I don't know, a tennis racket, and you type in a certain brand of tennis racket. And if it's somewhat close to some type of fishing equipment, it's going to show you the fishing equipment because that's AI in the back that's doing that. Remember when we were playing the little word games with search? Someone would type in a word and for maybe a title or something to look for an item, and it would change the word for you, like that, that Google thing where, oh, did you mean this? And they give the results for that. No, just give me what I typed in. It's like eBay is starting to take over for the user, thinking that they know more than the user knows. And yeah, every once in a while, the person's going to put in a typo, but more often than not, it's a name brand, and just let the search go through with that name brand. I don't know. It's just, we've been dealing with a lot of different things, and as they correct that, then it goes on to create another problem. Rosie Games is in the house. Thanks for being here, Rosie. And let's see, Rad Relic says, to be honest, there are several nations out there. That's an A, man. There's several nations out there looking to take down the American economy.
Oh, maybe it is nations. Yeah. My bad.
You want to read these?
No.
Because that wouldn't have sounded right.
Yeah,
There's several notions.
I know.
So there are things going on in our world too. I mean, you look at it, like I just said, MGM and Caesars got hacked by a Russian hacker thing. Yeah, looking for ransom. And
they just sent them an email too today. Says you pay up or we're going to do more damage.
Yeah, we have access to it still, something like that.
Well, they got into all of the, the guest services accounts where you have your player's card. So anything that your social security number, your address, all that stuff that they take when you become a member. Yeah. They have it all.
Yep. And who knows what they're going to do with it. But, that's just one thing that it's been reported because people couldn't get in their rooms. They couldn't cash out. Well, that's fine. But what about all the other things that are happening behind the scenes to bring down our economy? And I'm sure that's a lot of factors you can talk about, but all we can control is what we can control. We can't control any of these things. And I guess you can add to the equation, well, I guess speaking loudly to these problems that eBay is encountering, that's asserting some control over, the culture of eBay, and hopefully they see that and they change. But I don't know. I don't know how optimistic that I am that in the immediate future we're going to get changes, but I'm hopeful that they will, as they continue to lose buyers and sellers, they're going to make some tough changes. Let's see. Guy Guru says, I don't think AI is quite there yet. The new iteration of ChatGPT has gotten worse at math. It's getting, there's a lot of things. There's a plugin that I've downloaded for ChatGPT, and I'm trying to find out the name of it, but it is.
It was just there.
No, yeah, it's called AIPRM for ChatGPT, and it allows you to do all kinds of things. So if you have Chrome and you have time on your hands, you can plug that in, and it really opens up ChatGPT when you go use it the next time you use it, and you'll find that it's just amazing some of the things that you can do with this AI technology. I was watching a show on YouTube talking about how, in the future you can go on and say, I want to program a video game designed after this, and it'll come up with all the coding. Or write me a story about, a 10 chapter story about this person, and give it just a couple paragraphs of the basics of the story, and it'll write it for you.
ChatGPT is just one of many AI sites. Yeah. I follow someone on Instagram who he tells you all about all kinds of different ones that can make videos of your pictures, that can do you name it, it can do it. And
there's a website.
It's a little scary.
There's a website called Midjourney, and wow, that's weird.
Whoa.
And it allows you to go in and say, make me a photograph or a picture of what the example was. It was Vladimir Putin with shaking hands with Nancy Pelosi, and it came up with like 4 images, and it was like, wow, this is crazy realistic. Now they would never do that in real life, but just the fact that they were able to do that, it's just amazing to me. So AI is, it's not going to be a snap of a finger. Wow, all these things are going to happen. But 5 to 10 years from now.
But everything changes. We're moving forward, and sometimes at a faster pace, than we expect.
Well, no one design. That's 75% of people, and that think that. I don't necessarily agree
of the people that were polled.
Yeah, and if I made it sound like 75% of the jobs, I think in my mind.
I'd love to see an AI unclog a toilet.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah,
or do my laundry.
But who do you have? You don't unclog your own toilet? You must really be living life really, really well if you have someone coming out to unclog you. It's called a plunger.
But AI can't do that.
Rad Relic says, yeah, but AI doesn't buy our stuff. People do. If they lose their jobs, they don't have money to pay. That, and people lose their jobs. Reselling is the low-hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. But what else are we going to do? If the economy goes to crap in a handbasket, what are we going to do? I mean, it feels like it's going there right now, the way sales are going for a lot of people. Let's see. Unicorn Museum says 75% of people don't understand what AI even is. Yeah.
That's true.
Biscuit Butt says, no one, be careful what you wish for. We may all end up plumbers if eBay keeps this up. Let's see. Guy Guru says, I did sell something on Posh a couple days ago, and that was without doing any kind of sharing. Yeah, of course, someone's searching for a certain kind of item, and you don't have to share anything. It'll come up. The whole idea with sharing, what do we have, like 100 to 200,000 followers on Poshmark? And the idea with sharing is it gets into every one of their feed once you share that item, right? So they open up the app, they're like, oh, look at this. This popped up for me. If they weren't following you, it wouldn't show up in their feed, if that makes sense. So there is a benefit to playing that little game they want you to play. Gets more impressions on your items if you play the share game often enough. CJ says, any chance some of this traffic to conversion anomalies are affected by the smash and grab issues that have been happening around the country? No, I think the whole, if we're talking about traffic issues on eBay, I think that's specific to, it's an eBay problem.
Yeah.
But no, I think you have sellers right now that are on the platform that probably have zero cost of goods due to that kind of thing. And that's more of maybe someone who can sell those same items that you're trying to sell. They're selling them at a fraction of what you are. And you're like, how can they sell it this cheap? Well, that might be a symptom of that. But as far as the traffic problems, I don't think so. Andre Squad says, I don't have any answers, but I sure want some. You and a million other people.
You and me both.
Mark Suddick says, yes, something is wrong. Last week, sales down 85% from normal for me. This back to normal, even though 15% from normal. I wish eBay would get their act together. That's the common consensus from a lot of people. And let's see. Maya says, "Hey, I will say I need an AI robot to come help me turn my patients at work. Let's put the robots." Well, they have robots.
They actually do have.
They have robots that'll flip burgers.
We have bars here in Vegas that are. There's no people working there. It's a robot that mixes and serves you your drinks.
Mm-hmm. Over by where is it?
I don't
Paris,
know exactly where
Paris,
it's at,
yeah, over by Paris.
I know that we've seen it.
Yeah. Regina Rice says, "Hello, everyone. Late to the chat today. Well, at least you're here. That's all that counts." And then Biff says, "We don't need to care about eBay's success as if it dictates our own success. Other sites will keep filling the vacuum. The tricky part is it will take time, and some of us don't have that much time."
True.
And learning new platforms, dealing with, you think there's low ballers on eBay, go to Mercari. The same things that you're selling on eBay, you're gonna have to bring your items down lower and then deal with the low balls. Yes, I believe that there will be a vacuum. If something was to happen to eBay tomorrow, people will still need to buy stuff, and people have been conditioned to buy online. Will that mean more people will go to Amazon and just deal with whatever they can deal with there? Does that mean these other platforms? But if you look at Amazon versus eBay, eBay is a lot easier platform to sell on. You're going to find as a new seller on Amazon, it's going to be harder to sell name brand merchandise on their platform, and you're going to have to go through hoops to get ungated and to get invoices and all this stuff. It's nothing like eBay at all. Rad Relic says, "Now we know where the Breaking Bad thumbnail came from." Yeah. No one designs says, "Archie, you might want to keep that to yourself. Letting people know you speak virgins might not be a funny haha, but a funny uh-oh." Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think we want to talk about that on this channel. Good, great, fabulous says, "Many reselling platforms are struggling. I think they're all trying to scale using AI, but haven't figured it out yet. And at the expense of their sellers, they're doing these experiments with AI. And as you said, it's not polished at all yet. We're still learning what AI can do. It's promising in the future what AI is going to be able to do, promising to the point where it's really scary. But I'm not really comfortable in them using my business as a test ground on their AI technology. Have a secondary site, like I said, where you test these things out before you launch it. But to tell us, you're just beta, and they haven't told us this, but without telling us, they're telling us that we're just pretty much beta testers for the things that's being implemented. Riddle's Closet says, "Hit that like button and you get that sale." Yeah, it's a thing that we jokingly talk about here on the live stream. If you hit the like button, we have 166 people watching, and if you hit the like button, there's a very, very high possibility that you're going to get a sale in the next 24 hours. And what do you have to lose? Just that extra 2 seconds that it took to hit the like button. Dan says, "Hey guys, great info from YouTuber Josh, but he went too far at throw everyone off who can't ship in 2 days. 3 to 4 day shipper, not same as 11-day. They will hang themselves." Well, I agree with you in that, and I didn't really mention anything about what Josh said. I didn't even comment on it. I know that there's people right now who do this part-time. Okay, full-time job is their 9 to 5, 40 plus hours a week. And when they get to reselling, they do what they can. And the idea of, well, I got to ship tomorrow, but I got to work overtime tomorrow, I can't do it. And to say that those people shouldn't sell, I don't know if I want to go that far. But I got to tell you, I could see eBay saying, draw the line at like 3 days. Okay, maybe doing something like that. That gives you plenty of time. If you sell it on Monday, you got to get in the mail by Thursday. And to the point where eBay wants to see a happy buyer. And a happy buyer is a buyer who gets the item as soon as possible. Waiting 3 days plus is going to delay that buyer from saying, "You know what, I had a great transaction on eBay, got it fast." And I think that's what, now I'm not saying Josh has been in touch with anyone to talk about this. I just think that was one of his ideas to say, look, eBay needs to start maybe catering to those sellers who are a little bit more serious on the serious side. And I think there's some merit to it, but I don't know necessarily if I would go as far as 2 days. I think that's just a little much for some people. Let's see. Pork chop. I think with them pushing boosters and trying to give the COVID scare again this year, more people will be shopping online for holidays. So I think sales would pick up. Yeah, you hear rumors about that new one coming through, and it's already here for some communities and stuff like that. And without getting political and throwing the tinfoil hat on, it's concerning. I don't want to get into another situation where we're dealing with what happened in 2019. And 2019 was really good for a lot of resellers, but I don't want to give up.
I don't want another 2020.
No, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to be stuck in the house and wearing diapers on my face. I don't know how many of you guys out there enjoy wearing those things, but I didn't like it at all. But to each his own, I guess. We can all agree to disagree on that situation. Let's see. Silver Fox Finance says, not trying to sound negative, but AI could automate original owners of items listing and pricing their items. I resell, so it's not a thought I like, just thinking out loud here. And like you said, AI can have some benefits. There's people out there who will, instead of having you do your listings, will gladly take $1, $1.50 or whatever it is to list your items for you. And I can certainly see how AI can do that. So you maybe take this scanner and you have your UPC code and you're on the listing screen and you scan it, put the condition and type any special notes about the item, enter, and eBay does everything for you short of taking the photos. Okay, and then you upload your photos. That's item description, all the item specifics. That's everything, even the suggested weight. You go onto Amazon, it shows you the approximate weight and dimensions of the package. It'll maybe even supply that information for you, even though I wouldn't, just go with that. You need to reweigh and remeasure that so you don't get stuck with the wrong size package being shipped out. But you see what I'm saying? A lot of things that we cringe about, can be done not only one listing, but can be done in mass. It's the same kind of concept where people have VAs and they do this spreadsheet where they have maybe some photos attached to each line, what it is, UPC code, condition, and any notes that they want to be included in the listing. And they do that for every item and they send it off to a VA who makes their listings. Well, you can, with AI, you can have a program that'll do all that for you, and you're not paying a VA $1, $2, $5, $6 an hour to get that done for you. So certainly I could see that as a positive thing down the road. Thrifty Loon says, I watch Ed's channel today too. I like him. Yeah, check out Ed's channel, Ed Ziegler. That is Hustle and Grow. And he has a lot to say and a lot of good stuff to say. So go check him out. Big Dre says, I've noticed that expensive items in my store that have a lot of watchers and just get decent offers on Posh and Mercari that lead to a sale. Right. Which is why I think, the sad thing for eBay is a lot of people are leaving the platform and, well, they're staying on eBay, but they're moving their stuff to other platforms, and they're losing out on a lot of sales that, Posh and Mercari and other sites are now gladly taking. And I think if by now you aren't doing that and your sales are slow, you need to get your items. I don't care what tool you use. There's a lot of good ones out there, but spend the money, invest in your business. I think that's one thing that holds people back, is spending money on a lister or a cross lister, and that $40, $50 or whatever it is a month. It's an investment in your business that at the end of the day, at the end of the year, when you're doing your taxes, is a cost of doing business that can be accounted for against the tax bill. So just something to think about. And I'm not a CPA, just thought of course, some people out there may not even realize that, but the money you invest in your business isn't lost money. Henri Squaw says, I wasn't concerned until recently. The great sales, no sales teeter-totter is wearing me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's that roller coaster ride. But I just hope that, we got that going like this, and I hope it doesn't flatline at the bottom where we're not getting sales at all. And that's the biggest fear, is that, things collectively gets so bad, and I'm not saying just on eBay's end, I'm just saying with everything we're talking about, and that's really going to push people out. Dan says, positive thoughts. 7 to 8 years ago, when Windows 10 came out, every update crashed on my computer till they fixed. Took months.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But unfortunately, eBay is not, that I know of, launching a new eBay. I mean,
they've used the same antiquated.
I mean, that's,
crap.
So, I mean, I may be wrong on that. Maybe they are launching something new, and this is what it is. But we're dealing with the bugs, as you're saying. But I think it's along the lines of the example I was telling you, that if you have a very, very old program and you start adding things to it, you run the risk of breaking existing things on that were working just fine. Chastity Grant says, got a sale for just watching. Hit the like button, so maybe I'll get a second sale. Well, awesome.
Woo!
Glad you got one. I got one offer that I sent before the show, and nothing. So it's
I didn't
not
have any sales yesterday or today.
Had a $200 sale today. That's it. $200. It's a brand new lawnmower, one of those cordless battery pack driven lawnmowers with a weed whacker, I guess, combo, and brand spanking new. Got a good deal on that and got a good price on that on the sale. So Trailer Trash Flips. Wow. That's an interesting name there. Finally got a chargeback from a buyer, a medical item that I didn't want to take back, and after it was opened, buyer lied and claimed INAD, and I had proof from prior messages that it wasn't. I won. There you go.
Good job.
As long as you win and you keep careful notes, I'm a firm believer in fighting it when you can, especially if there's a lot of money. It's a medical device. There's probably a lot involved there. Devon says, please hit the thumbs up. Yes, I'd appreciate that. 167 people watching, quite awesome. And I'm thankful that each and every one of you guys are here with us to discuss. Huh? What happened? That's my hat. My hat's always screwed up. Yeah. It's funny. I'm yapping away and my hat's like moving, right? So I'm sure that's part of it. But thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate that. Bearded PokeTuber says, if I needed to, I could jump back into a line into a restaurant at the drop of a hat. I'd prefer not to, though.
Yeah.
But I'd say for how many people, when reselling's going really good, there's no job that can replace that. I mean, the stress, the lack of stress from everyday commute, dealing with bosses who don't care about you or don't really treat you well, coworkers that are cutthroat, especially if you're trying to climb the corporate ladder, people that'll stab you in the back, the drop of a hat, just things like that. Different things that I don't have to worry. I mean, I had so much stress when I ran my own department, and I don't have that anymore, guys. You can't place a price on that. That's a benefit to your health. Norman Velez says, I do a lot of other than reselling. I do auctions and real estate. I get bored quickly, but reselling is turning into my full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
hard
the story.
To keep it a part-time job.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Our Warren says that they'd be completely retired and pulled from Social Security. But this side business that we do for some of you guys is just supplemental income. So that supplemental income allows you to do some of the things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. So I think it's still important, even though you might have something to fall back on. Jacqueline says, I started reselling in July of this year, but I'm still working full-time because I'm a single mom and I need to build this industry up first. I'm truly hoping to make this my full-time job. Well, you can.
It's possible.
Yeah, just keep plugging away. I mean,
going.
You are in control, even when there's roadblocks in the way. You just got to navigate around, understand what the problems are, what's in your way, and and also understand why you're not making the sales. And I guess that's what a lot of these programs will help you do, is to figure out, okay, well, that might be why, and then gravitate. And I'm a firm believer that a lot of what we're seeing is possibly category based. So some people are seeing these problems more than others are. That's just my hypothesis. I mean, of course, it's like anything anyone else says, you can't prove a thing. Yeah. Tommy says, eBay is king. I'm totally optimistic about my future. Best year of sales by far and still rolling. If your sales suck, it's not all eBay. And I agree with that. I can agree with Tommy in that this has been my best resale year so far, we talk about inconsistencies. Just when I think I'm making good progress, here comes, eBay and no sales, right? Or lack of sales. But I'm going to keep plugging away. When we're done with this live stream, I'm going to have something to eat, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to list some more. One, because I enjoy doing what I do, but two, when I get a couple of sales days that aren't so hot, instead of blaming it on eBay and sitting on my couch watching a movie, I'm going to try to put some more effort into my success, more than I have, and I'm going to work my way through it, just the way I'm programmed, with the way I'm hardwired. Sylvia says, I work because I have nothing to do. And I think if all of us were immediately rich, if all of us woke up one day and we had $1 million in the bank account, I think some people wouldn't know how to be. They're so used to working all their lives that that's why you see retired people. They retired, they got money, they got pensions, but yet they return to Walmart to be a greeter, right? They don't have to do that, but it gets them out of the house. Or some become crossing guards, whatever. It gets them out of the house. But if we had no purpose, I think that would be pretty horrible for some people. I don't think some people can handle that. CJ says, fairly new to this phenomenon. When would you say this downturn start? I mean, when did you notice it? Well, a lot of people noticed it in April. I haven't noticed a thing. I made a change. We made a change from the type of items we're selling in February, and we've really never looked back. I mean, I guess you could say the last couple weeks have been spotty, and I'm starting to notice things are starting to get a little different, but not to the point where I'm not getting any sales. It's just that I'm not getting consistency like I was. Let's see. Bobbles says, I have a lifetime of brilliant reseller knowledge. I don't function in the mainstream. No reselling means no income. Mm-hmm. Right. So a lot of experience gone if one day eBay just shuts down and we're all gravitating over to Mercari and to Poshmark. I'll put them outside if they're going to keep.
It's just him.
Okay.
Julie's laying on the couch.
Yeah. Jacqueline, sorry about that, guys. We have dogs that are bored and want to get up into the live stream.
Needy is what he is. He's not bored. He's needy.
And you know what? Real quick, how are you feeling there, Larry Todd? I know that you're fighting the good fight. Hopefully, everyone's feeling better.
What happened?
They have the COVID thing going on.
Oh,
I think.
No!
So get better there. I hate to hear that when people are getting sick. We've had it twice.
I thought it was his wife.
I thought he said. I thought I saw him that he said
Todd,
he had
did you have it?
And Roman's asking, Todd, how are you feeling? So hopefully you're feeling better. That sucks. Jacqueline B says, you're one of the only channels I watch every video that you put out this year. The rest I've watched on and off because you're real and honest, and that helps. Well, thank you, Jacqueline. I appreciate that. I mean, sometimes people kind of get irritated at me because I do speak how I feel, and maybe sometimes I should shut up, but that's just me, guys. I'm outspoken like that, but I think that's what makes me me. And here's an offer. Let's see what I got here. I want to get that cha-ching so bad, but I'm not going to give this away. I made an offer on a weed whacker. I had it for $80. You know what? I'm only in there for $6. Send it.
Wow.
I'll take it. $50 plus shipping. I'm only in there for $6. I wanted $79.99, and I offered him, I think, $60.
$50 for the
I think I offered $65.
whacker of the weed.
Take it. Anyone who's allergic to an 8X flip is not doing this right.
Okay, wait.
I'm happy.
Todd says, I am starting to improve after a week, but Gwen and her mom are just in the first stages. Oh, well, I'll be praying for them.
Yeah.
And you. Hope you guys get better quickly.
Jeff Zinnick says, people who can adapt have the advantage. Looking at my past predictions and what actually happened, I can see that I'm not going to be able to predict with any accuracy. No, it's hard to predict. And what we are dealing with right now might be something totally different in a month from now. So, let's just hope it doesn't get worse before it gets better.
Todd says, I infected my whole family. I am a horrible person.
Yeah.
You're not a horrible person. It's just that thing it's a beast.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I've had my stories when we had it. It's just,
he brought it home, you mean.
Yeah, I brought it home. I was out golfing with a buddy, and we went to have lunch, and of course, you know how they make you wear the mask in these restaurants at the time. But when you sit down, you can take them off. So I joked to him. I said, "Oh, we're safe. We're in the safe zone for COVID." And 2 days later, he's reporting that he's sick as a dog. And then the day after that, here I am. Great. So yeah, that's kind of how it worked out.
A week later, I got it.
Let's see. Red Relic, who knows what causes a bad day, though? Is it the AI algo or bad news on TV, or the moon is in a certain position? Who knows? Who knows? We can guess.
Exactly what we're saying.
We can guess. I think sometimes it's easier to say, well, it's not the stuff that I'm selling. It's eBay, right? It's eBay. I'm selling great stuff. When the fact is you're not. At least be honest with yourself. I can tell you, look, I don't have a problem telling you I sell crap. And that might be the problem on my other account, is I'm trying to decide. Was looking through it the other day, and I'm going, this sucks. Okay. I think some of us have to be real. The 8-track tape of, you know, Starsky and Hutch, I don't even think that was a thing, but, you know, the soundtrack for Starsky and Hutch and 8-track is not what someone's looking for right now. And you got to be honest with yourself that maybe there is someone in a few months that might think, hey, you know, it'd be great to add an 8-track to my collection. Let's see what they got on eBay. But until then, that ain't a hot item, okay? And it has nothing to do with eBay. So, you know, it is what it is. No Designs says bitching is the word for Monday's live. Tommy says eBay is publicly traded company. Transparency could send their stock into a spiral. No public companies are transparent. They answer to the board, and the board only, not us. So, right. So I'm not asking them to come out and say, okay, to kill this reselling thing that we're trying to do, here's how you beat the algorithm. You go in and you do this. You put your title exactly like this. If you have it out of order, it's not going to work. You're not going to come up and search. And if you do this, oh, by the way, your items have to be at least $15 to, you know, or more. Otherwise, we're going to, you know, rank them lower. And no one's asking for that. But to say that, is there a problem with search? Yes or no? That's not hard to, you know, acknowledge. Let us know. Hey, guys, we understand that a lot of you are reporting problems with the search. We're working on it. Something like that, I think, would go a long way to tempering a lot of our, because what happens is with the lack of information, people start wondering. And when we start wondering, we start saying, well, I think it's this, or I think it's that. And someone watching and going to report, well, they just said on YouTube that this is why I'm not getting any sales, when that YouTuber doesn't know more than the next. We're just giving you our guess. You know, no one even tells us why we're getting sales. Why do I get $1,000 day after a 0 day, a Friday with 0 sales, and the next day I get $1,000, and I've done no more than I did the day before? Why is that? All I can do is guess. There's a problem. Unless eBay comes out and acknowledge it, all we can do is guess that there is a problem. Ernie says, here's some transparency, sign this NDA. Yeah, and it's only good for the person being told. I mean, the other people that watch your program are going to be like, okay, well, maybe if he blinks 5 times in a row, I can, you know, maybe it's what I'm selling. Or maybe if he blinks 10 times, it's actually eBay and not what I'm selling. Mike Gertis says, hello, why would eBay want full-time sellers like myself want to leave the platform because of lack of traffic? I've averaged 183,000 of sales purchases since doing this full-time in the past 3 years. The theory is that some people have, is reading e-commerce bites. The theory that they pointed out that one channel was talking about was because of the bandwidth that they're dealing with. You know, they don't want to spend and waste bandwidth on a small store that's selling $5 to $10 trinkets, and they'd rather use that bandwidth for higher performing stores. I don't think that's the case. Otherwise, they wouldn't have enrolled a 12 photo to 24 photo thing that they came out encouraging us to use more photos using more bandwidth. They wouldn't have come out with a option to post a video with our listings, which every once in a while I'll take advantage of. So I don't necessarily think it's a bandwidth issue. I just think that they have an idea of who their buyers are and what they're buying, and they're not buying as much of the small end stuff. So they'd rather push those people down, and they're not telling you can't sell, but they're pushing those people down in the traffic that they're receiving. That's just what I think. Henri Squad says, I love being an eBay seller. I want to continue to like it. I'm starting to get worn out though. It is a, you know, when you're not getting the sales you think you should be getting, it does cause some stress, especially when you rely on this income. Now, if it's just Christmas money, it's not going to be as stressful as someone who's trying to pay their electric bill. And if you've ever seen, at least if you've seen your electric bill lately, that thing has gone up. I mean, we had 2 months in a row out here where we're like, what in the world? Why is the electric bill so high as compared to previous summers? I don't know. Big Dre says maybe eBay will never be transparent simply because the effect it could have with shareholders. I think you hit it on, just like Tommy said, you guys hit it on the head there. I think it has everything to do with that. Mike Gertis says, I realize I'm still small, but that's $20,000 in fees for eBay. Hundreds like myself leave. This site will not do well. I agree. And I don't think that's their goal, is to make you leave. I just think that is the side effect of the problems that we're seeing unintentionally, right? Craigslist Hunter, he's watching. He's always watching. How you doing, Pete? Very glad to have you here. Can't wait to see you. Actually, we'll be seeing you in 2 weeks. Looking forward to it.
2 weeks. Oh,
looking forward to it.
We need to get our other tickets.
Yeah, and anybody going to the rally, and I heard that there was and Pete, hopefully, maybe you could reach out to my email and let me know. I reached out to Kevin. He's busy. He didn't get back to me. But there's supposed to be like a Friday night, the night before, there's supposed to be a $25 event. And we're trying to figure out how to get tickets for that.
It's supposed to be at the hotel for $25 at 8 p.m. the night before the cruise.
Yeah, so I don't want to crash that thing without a ticket. So help us get a ticket.
We'll crash it.
But also, I want to ask you guys, if you are going, if you watch this channel and maybe on Sunday, like for lunch or something, you guys want to find a location where we can all kind of meet up and, meet each other.
If I were to put something on YouTube, what are those community posts, just to see if anybody's up in the area and just wants to meet for lunch on Sunday, either respond to that post or email us. We would love to have lunch with you.
Yeah.
I would love to have lunch with all of you, but I know that's not feasible.
Kelly says, I still work a full-time job, but have been putting more effort in this year to my eBay sales, and they're up 50% year over year. Some days are better than others, but it all evens out. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd love to see that. Donna says, Wednesday sales are procrastinators from past weekend, increasing views towards end of week or waiting on paycheck. I think there's a number of people who will wait for their paycheck, but there's the business we were in for all those years. We got paid like on a Tuesday. So I think we think of payday as being the end of the week, and that's not always the case.
Not for every company. It's not.
Let's see. Sylvia says, well, I decided to close my eBay. I sell better on other platforms anyway, but I will continue to come on here.
You better continue to be here, Sylvia.
Are you sure you want to do that? And the only reason why I say that is, yes, you're disappointed in the sales that eBay is bringing you, but I still don't see how eBay is going to just be non-existent if you're making sales. I think eBay should be a good portion of your sales, just depending on what you're selling. So I don't know. That's ultimately a decision you have to make, but I firmly believe that eBay still is a very, very good platform to move your merchandise. Norman says, I know you won't believe me, but I truly believe that eBay has an algorithm that does rolling sellers. So that way your stuff gets shown a couple days a week of the days to get somebody else. But Norman, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
You might be onto
another
something
hypothesis.
But that's all we can do. And I don't expect to know everything about the algorithm. I think a lot of what we know, we've all learned through trial and error. But I think when eBay starts making changes, we have to relearn it again. So you might be right. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up a little bit, guys. I apologize. Mad Hatter says, late but here. Sales are booming. Loving this time of year. Hope everything is going well with everyone else. Hit that like button. So what's the difference between a seller like Mad Hatter's Boutique and, say, someone who's getting no sales? There's got to be something. Is it the category that they're selling in? Mm-hmm. Is it how you're presenting your listings? Are you playing the promoted listings game or not? I really think there's a lot to that. But, there's got to be a reason why we get reports from people like Mad Hatter that's doing great, loving it, couldn't complain, couldn't have a complaint in the world. And then there's others that are like, look, I had a sale in 5 days. What can I do? So there's got to be a reason for that. And it can't be just random. Biscuit Butt says, my point is, how do you even trust that traffic is correct? Brick and mortar, you can actually see the people. Well, why have it then? Why is eBay presenting us with lies then? If it's not true, if it's not correct, if it's meaningless, why do they have it there for us to look at? It's got to mean something to someone. Lenny says, all the businesses do a traffic report before putting in a store, i.e. cars and foot. Yeah. And just before you decide, well, I'm going to sell this new thing on eBay, you should be looking at the comps to see what kind of, traffic or sales that item, and see what kind of competition you're going to be up against. So you can have 10 sales the last 90 days, but you have 1,000 people selling that one item. That's a worthless item to try to sell. You're going to be sitting on it for a while. Mad Hatter says, anyone else get the 45-minute video chat call about how you ship items for a $75 gift card from eBay? Anyone doing it? Or an email? No, I haven't seen that. That's good on you. I'd go with it and see what they have to say. Get that $75. Salami says, eBay is like New York City sewer system. TOC fix it. They will have to shut down the city down, which they will never do. People asking eBay to fix it is like trying to produce a diamond out of your arse. Impossible. But they can at least help us understand what's happening, I think. That's what I hope for more than anything else. IdeaPad says, will robotic AI ever be able to replace a roof? No. But
nope.
But what about a big mechanical device that slaps the tiles on and then does its thing and slaps the tiles on? I mean, if they have machines right now that can flip burgers on 2 different grills, right, and cook to perfection.
And serve margaritas.
I mean, what's to say that they can't do anything like that down the road? Dixie Flipper says, hi, John and Jenna. I just want eBay to get their stuff working, and I'll work on mine. I know that I have a lot of things in a flood market, but I can't change it over that fast.
Yeah.
No. But, again,
it's a process.
One thing I talked about on a live or two ago is, well, then why don't you just make a second store, move all your crap to that store, and then just focus on the main store with the good selling stuff. We have a person named Beard King Picker, LOL.
Well, hello.
A lot of beard pickers and pokey-tubers and stuff, but thanks for being here. I appreciate that. Jessica Cunningham says, Mercari is the worst for low ballers. It's frustrating, but at least it's a sale if you accept it.
I agree with you 100%.
And by then, for me in the past, it's been like, okay, it's been on eBay 30 days, get it on Mercari, and it's a clearance aisle, right? So if I can at least recoup what I'm into it for, take it, get it out of here. Take that same $2 I bought the item for, and let's buy better with it. That's definitely a good way to do that. Tracy's Oracle says, I closed my Poshmark, only made 11 sales in 3 months. I did open another eBay store, and Mercari is about to go bye-bye. That's been slow as hell. Etsy disowned me because I don't play by their rules. Yeah, you're not the only one that's seen those other sites slow. I believe it's 100%. Okay, let's talk about those sites, Poshmark and Mercari. If you're selling the right things, you're going to see more sales. Bottom line. And we're not seeing a lot of sales.
Yeah, we don't see. Ours comes in waves. We'll get, 2 through, let's say, 7 sales in a weekend on Posh. And then crickets for weeks.
Yes.
And then here somebody will pop up and buy a pair of shoes. It's too sporadic. That's why we will always be with eBay as long as eBay.
Well, as long as there's traffic. If it becomes Bonanza, I don't know. Scream NRC says, hello, this is a rockin' yard sale on eBay reseller. Love the info. Please bring some of the new scams going around to light. People buying and demanding a partial refund. Well, that's a scam that's been going on for a long time. Because it's worked before, so they get an item that they bought on eBay. They are, okay, well, this has a little something, there's a little mark there that I didn't see in, they didn't show in the photos. I'm going to complain, and I'm going to try to get my money back. And they contact you, hopefully, hoping that you offer a partial refund. And when you don't, then they start threatening negative feedback, this, that, and the other thing. It happens all too often, and it's because there's certain sellers out there that cave in and they give partial refunds to get them to go away. And so these are learned behaviors, just like anything in life. Learned behaviors become the norm, and it becomes you go in and buy something on eBay, and the first thing you do is complain because there's a chance that you're going to get some of that money back. So that's not a new scam though, and I don't think I know of any new scams. If anyone has any new scams, please put them down below. CJ says an eBay seller told e-commerce bites on May 24th that she clicked on an unlabeled icon when listing an item in the eBay app, and it rewrote their entire description with an undo button. Yes.
No undo button.
With no undo button. Well, I don't know about that. Has anyone here come across an AI tester button? So I know that on iPhone and Android, you can go in and create an item description and undo it and redo it, but to have no undo button seems like, if anything, there's a glitch, and they probably need to update their eBay app. Amazon Seller 99 says, I think there are too many variables with the millions of products sold on eBay to limit shipping to 3 days. Just shows a lack of understanding of all the different types of sellers here. I can tell you that I understand. I understand that there's life. It's usually life. It's usually not anything to do with what type of item you're selling. A lot of it has to do with just, this is a secondary thing, and I can't do a daily shipping routine. But I think at a certain point, eBay allows it, but they want the best. They want the best experience for the buyer, and waiting to even ship it 4 or 5 days is not the best experience for the buyer. And then the buyer remembers that, and then they go somewhere else to buy, because our buyers don't read, right? So they probably never realized it wasn't going to be mailed out for 3, 4, 5 days, even though you have it in the listing.
That's one of the first things I look at when I'm buying something from a company.
When am I going to get it, right? Mm-hmm. But just like they don't read your return policy, they don't read what you have stated. Maybe there's a flaw in the item. They don't read that. And so now they have a bad experience because they assumed that you ship it out right away. And I don't know. Everyone's going to have an opinion on that. Doesn't make me a bad person. Doesn't make Josh a bad person. Doesn't make you a bad person for feeling that way. We just all have our personal feelings about that. Texan Mechanic says, what do you think about permitting items versus not? Promoting items. Is eBay trying to grab money for more views, or actually permits items? So as far as promoting, it's a evil necessity, right? We don't want to do it, but we have to do it if we're playing the game. If we truly want to be competitive, and that's the only purpose of promoted listings, is to compete with your competition. If you're the only one on that listing, you shouldn't promote. But it is a money grab. It is a way to get more than the 13 point whatever percent that eBay historically has received from sales. And now they can say they're getting upwards of 20+%. So they're showing their shareholders that they're making a lot more money on fewer sales. And that's what's going on right now. So yes, it's a design thing. And if you're not playing the game, for most sellers, you're not going to be as successful. Let's see, Mike. Glad to see you here. Hi, all. Just finished up day 1 of my yard sale. Great weather here in New York. Did okay for a Friday. Should be busier tomorrow. Ooh. Awesome. Well, yard sales are always fun. And the thing about yard sales is, you go through about 2-3 hours and you think, well, I only had a few people show up. You look in your pocket and like, wow, I made all this. You'll be surprised what you can make at a yard sale.
We got to figure out when ours is.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. Speaking of yard sales, let me ask you, I got a phone call from, I'll let you guys guess. I gave Archie a chance to guess. I got a phone call from someone.
Guess from who? Don't say. Guess from who? Guess from who? Come on. In the chat.
Someone's going to say something ridiculous.
You be quiet.
I will give you a hint. It's someone we dealt with last.
No, you're giving too much. Somebody's going to get it.
Well, good. That's the point.
There's no.
I mean, this ain't.
No.
Yeah, not Archie. Archie doesn't contact us anymore.
Archie doesn't. He's too busy with his other friends now.
Yeah, he's got other friends. He doesn't. We're like 5th on his depth chart. So no. Jenna likes to cheat with the comments.
Oh no!
No one's guessing.
Yes. Okay, no one designed said Jake the tire guy.
I don't know who that is. Who's Jake the tire guy?
Well, first of all, his name is not Jake.
Biden Art, the meatball guy?
No.
No, okay.
Who did we get all those shoes from?
Miss Ruby called me and she's like, "Hey, John,
Brad,
I'm having another yard sale." And of course, the reseller in me kicked in without any thought. And I said, "Well, do you have any more shoes?" "Oh, yeah, we got more. We got a whole garage full." I said, "Well, speaking of the garage," I said, "Did you get rid of the stuff in your garage?" And she said, "No, it's worse." So I can just imagine, but they're not having it at that house. They're taking all the stuff to another
Carol
location.
said she guessed right.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, the lady with the shoes in the garage.
Oh, Carol! Wow,
Carol!
awesome. And I said, "Well, what about these shoes?" "Oh, yeah, we got lots of shoes, lots of shoes." I said, "Well, what about the singles that I'm still waiting for?" Mind you, I threw those away already.
Those are gone.
"Oh, I think we found a whole bunch of those. I didn't throw them out. I was waiting for next time you can't." So that's no good for me. Those other shoes. But
those are in the
Jenna scolded me for saying, "Don't you dare buy any more shoes." So what do you guys think? Now, those were okay. We made, I think, of the $300 I spent on those shoes, we probably made $2,000 to $3,000 over time, over many, many listings. But in hindsight, would you buy more? Especially when one of those pairs came back as Jordan 1s that they said weren't authentic.
eBay says they weren't authentic.
What does that really mean, though?
That means nothing to me.
So let me know down below what you think about that. Would you go to the yard sale? I mean, I think many would, but
yeah, but I don't want to buy a million shoes.
Yeah.
Our garage cannot take the capacity of what we had.
For now. We will have more room here pretty soon. I'm not going to go there, but I'm just saying, right now, if I was to go bring a bunch of these things home, you'd see stacks of
Noah Design says, "Jenna, get ready with the toothbrush."
No,
I already still have.
We have the drill with the brush at the end. That's the best way to do it.
I still have an entire tote full of shoes.
Well, get working. Marilyn Gill says, "Not to change the subject, but it really concerns me that Mogi Beth just disappeared from YouTube. She was posting 2 videos a week for years, I think, and now she's just gone."
Who's Mogi Beth?
Who is Mogi Beth? I don't know. Must be related to you reselling on YouTube. I don't know. Please.
I hope if they're
very curious. I've never seen a video from Mogi Beth.
Mogi Beth is.
Bearded PokeTuber says, "Oh, for sure. My quality of life since leaving food service has drastically improved. Never want to work for anyone else besides myself ever again." And I think most of us feel that way.
I agree.
Jessica Cunningham says, "I can't wait to do this full time. I'm ready for retirement because this is what I want in retirement, because it to me is so fun. I'm sick of working for the man." Mm-hmm. And it feels like you're retired when you're doing this full time.
Yes.
You
have to have lots of discipline.
Nothing is more just, well, I guess there's a lot of things that's more relaxing. I mean, I'm just being ridiculous when I say that, but for lack of a better word, it's really just peaceful to go out in the garage, throw on music or throw on a long live stream and just get to work, right? You know what you got to do. No one's down your throat, working at your own pace. And to me, as long as you're paying your bills and you're making that work, it's perfect.
I guess Mogi Beth is a clothing seller. Oh. Never heard of her.
Backyard Mowing says, "Tommy, I agree. It's not all eBay. Listed a Nintendo Switch yesterday, sold within 30 minutes. The buyers are out there, but that's just it. You had something in demand. Okay, there's a market for those things. That Starsky and Hutch 8-track that we were talking about. I guarantee you, it's not even close in demand as a Nintendo Switch." No Design says, $1 million is pocket change if you adjust for inflation and some people bad Amazon addiction. Yep. People would be broke in weeks, maybe not even that long. US Sports Cards, do you a normal flow to a month, or is it everything random in terms of demand on your end? Up until September, everything's been very, very solid and very, very normal. We'd have one day of the week that's kind of questionable, but everything was just outstanding. Now it's 2 good days, 2 bad days, 3 good days, 2 bad days. And like last weekend, crap. And then Monday rolls around, Monday through Wednesday, great. So Just very sporadic is what we're seeing. Let's see. Trying to get to some non-sidebar comments. Okay, here's Maya with a question. With Prime Lister, do you have it linked to your eBay account? If so, what do you do after you end and sell similar? I imagine it would mess up your links. No, it's not linked.
It's not linked.
What happens is, okay, I have 20 items I want to cross post. So I'll go, there's like a little arrow. You guys may have seen it in my screenshots. And you go in and click on the box in eBay for all the listings that you want to work with. And then you go click on Prime Lister and you'll go cross post. And it'll say, okay, where do you want to cross post? It brings up all these sites. And you just put like Mercari, for instance. And then you click OK, and it creates a new tab for each of those 20 listings. And it's creating a new listing on Mercari.
Yeah,
okay?
But make sure you don't do any more than like 10 at a time.
Yeah, because it really ties things
really
up.
Really confusing.
So then you go into each one and you have to just complete the new listing in Mercari. Just fill out a couple things for shipping, and every once in a while it doesn't like the brand that you put in there.
Yeah.
And then you launch it, and it has no link to your eBay account. I put a little note, of course, in my eBay listing that I have it on Mercari now, so that if it sells on eBay, I know to take it off from Mercari, that kind of thing. So no link. If I go in and do a end item and sell similar, I'm selling similar. It still has the information in the SKU that it's on Mercari. It doesn't have any effect at all on that process. Bobby says, what gets me is this. I sell car parts. I'll have a certain part listed for 6 months, hardly any views, renew it every 90 days. Then I'll list the same part and it sells the morning after I list it. Yeah, because you're getting that new item boost.
New item
boost. And it's funny. Josh had said something to the effect of the other day that eBay has sniffed out the whole idea of end item sell similar. Well, I went in and did a little test, and I did an end item sell similar for items in my store, and I found that this dog loves the bark. I found that these were coming up with the new listing little gray tag next to your title. They wouldn't put that there if it wasn't a thing. So, and I was getting great placement on these listings. So again, I don't know if a lot of these changes they're making that's preventing that for some sellers is maybe category specific, but I'm all over the place in categories. So you'd think that I would have seen that by now, but it's still working for me, even though, of course, the last couple days. And another thing real quick, now that we're talking about that, all those page views that I got yesterday, I took my whole store, it was like 200 items, and did an end item and sell similar, right? And I would say a good 60% of those page views were external. Now, how's that possible if it takes time to catalog or re-index all those listings into Google? My theory is it doesn't take as long as you think. And not only on Google, but on eBay, you're getting a new item boost for a short period of time. That's my theory on it. And here comes an offer. Got to take the offer. Yeah, I'll get shipping on top of that. I'm trying to make sales. Let's move stuff. Boom, take the offer. So I think there's something to it, though.
Flips.
Let's see. Reverend Michael C. Piper. I'm behind on the video because I just got here, but I've noticed a lot of times that my traffic is a lot higher and my lower sales days pretty often. And what does that mean, though? What does that mean? Why is it that on slow days, like my day yesterday, I had the best traffic day of the last 30 days, but one of the worst sales days? That just doesn't make sense to me. Amazon says, didn't know you can ship roosters by USPS until I heard them crowing on their loading dock.
What? Didn't know you can ship roosters by you. Roosters?
Oh, gee. I don't know about that, but who knows anymore. Maya Koyama says, I think she got hit by the slow sales bug. Her last few videos were a lot of complaining about slow sales. That's Moby
Beth.
I don't know. That's just a weird name. But nonetheless, I've never heard of that person. But yeah, I guess if you're not selling on eBay anymore, it's hard to tout like, oh, I made this much out of this, and when sales are non-existent. Good thing we don't do that here. Marilyn says baby is at least 6 months old. I don't know what that is.
Talking about
I'm trying to avoid.
Beth.
I don't know anything about it.
I know.
And I'm not going to go looking for it because it doesn't sound that interesting. Jessica Cunningham says, great information, guys. Had no idea about that. I've been creating the separately, so thanks you. You're very, very welcome. And then we have Jackie in the house.
Jackie!
I shipped a women's sleeveless shirt to North Pole, Alaska today. I had to Google it, thought only Santa lived there. Well, maybe it was Santa, and he needed a sleeveless shirt before he has to get, working. Jessica's laughing, and Tommy says, the person Josh talked to on LinkedIn gave lots of bad and or outdated information. Yeah, LinkedIn. It's a site where you can meet up with executives and stuff. But I think at least when it pertains to the end item sell similar thing, I don't think that's been found out. I hope eBay thinks that, but I use it still. And I haven't had any problems with it. I still get the new item boost. My items are still coming up in search on that account. Just got a couple sales during the broadcast here, so I'm happy.
Design says, John, guess what?
What? Salami? Shalami. Sorry, I mispronounced it. And then J Ride Flips is great. I loved your new podcast, Archie. I know that Archie is doing a new podcast. I don't know, because he called me the other day and told me he messaged me the other day and told me he was going to do it, but he never messaged me and said, hey, it's live, check it out. So I have no idea.
We're on the back burner now. We don't matter.
And we're going to be rooming with him at the Airbnb here in 2 weeks in Cincinnati. So hopefully he shows up, because we're not high up on the list. So
I know he's got all these other friends now.
I guess. Jacqueline says, on eBay, I have a lot of watchers and I send offers, but I'm not getting any bites. Do you have any advice? Well, a lot of advice.
I get a lot of watchers on things, and I send them all the time, and I never get one person to buy from an offer.
Well, again, how fast are you sending those offers?
I send them all day, every day.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. But the one advice that I give, I don't think a lot of people follow, because it involves work. And that is, go into what you're trying to sell and look to see, has it been selling? And if it has, what is that seller doing differently than you? Now, there's things you're never going to see. You don't know how much they're promoting. They might be promoting at a higher rate. They might have a better price. They might have great photos. Emulate those photos. Take the title. There's nothing saying you can't use someone else's title. I know people get irritated by it, but that title doesn't belong to anyone. Use the title or mimic it to the best of your ability. Look how their title's set up.
I will take someone's title, but I will reword it. And sometimes they don't have, like John has been preaching for years, the first 5 words are key words, right? Well, I look at it the same way. However, I put it into what I would put into a search. Yeah. And I do it my way.
Yeah. Larry Todd, Archie is doing a podcast. I'm not sure exactly who. I forget exactly who.
I think it's that bearded guy.
No.
Yes.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of bearded.
He's never been.
There's a lot of bearded guys.
He's never been on our chat before. So
there's a lot of bearded guys out there that talk about their beard when they're doing their YouTube channel. And there's nothing wrong with beards. You'll never catch me with one. I just don't want to have a bird's nest on my face.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, I don't want to be doing any kind of Duck Dynasty remakes or anything like that.
Well, and his wife doesn't care for that either.
No, I don't. I just don't care for it. I just don't.
And neither do
I don't like a lot of bush. But that's just me.
This is going in the wrong direction.
But Jacqueline, there's a lot of things you can do. Find your competition, see what they're doing, and emulate that. That's the first place I'd start. And if that's not showing you anything, it's time to probably get something else. Tommy says, about Cassini, eBay advised to end relist. Makes no sense. I mean, they created a bulk relisting tool. But it's the same result, I believe. When you relist, it's really the same result. I just like to do the sell similar. That's just kind of my thing. Kelly says, about 30% of my sales come from offers to watchers. People want deals, so you got to make it worthwhile. And boom. Okay, maybe eBay turned my server on. I'm getting some.
Sounds like it. Didn't do nothing.
Jay Ride says there's a lot of bearded reseller creators. And then No One Design. John don't like bush. No,
not on his face.
I don't like masks on my face. I don't like bush on my face.
Bush.
Cheers, everyone. This MK7 says I have been my butt off in all eBay all year. It says I have been my butt off on. I'm sure they meant to say I've been working my butt off all on eBay all year, and now I have to start a regular job this Tuesday. I'm going to try to hang on and hope for things to turn around.
Yeah.
Right. And it says, I almost gave up, but decided to stick with it because of all the time, effort, and money that I've had put into it. There's an answer out there for almost every reseller problem. Now, for some, it's eBay. Some it's really eBay. But for others, there's things that you can do that maybe you haven't thought of doing. But if you're, and I'm not saying MK7, you do this, but if others are out there and are trying to figure out what's going on, and all you do is list, go buy more stuff, list, go buy more stuff, list, and you're not spending time with your existing listings to find out why they're not selling, that could certainly be a problem. You mean you could have some issues. Maybe there's a problem with the listings. You just don't know until you get in there and start editing and changing up some of your listings. Hopefully things turn around for you, though. Jacqueline says, I think I want to change my titles around now that I'm getting more advice and I'm understanding more. Yes. Think of your titles in terms of what your buyer is going to type in to find that out.
Right. So when you as a buyer are going onto any website, when you type in, what do you put in to search for something?
Right. Now, that's historically been what it is. Tommy says the exact words don't weigh as heavy like the old days in the title. Search results are curated a buyer's history, similar to YouTube, but not nearly as good. And that's what we don't quite understand yet. We're finding these things out due to things that people are either learning or being told. But for many years, it's been a focus on the first 5 words of your title. I think that's still a good practice. But, if you're selling something, if you're buying something and you're now searching for something else, eBay is going to take into account your previous buying history before they show you those results. I think it's ridiculous. And, maybe it's their way of trying to hone the buyer in on some of these specialized markets like the shoes, the purses, the watches, the car parts. And now I need a Honda Civic, whatever, and I need an alternator, and maybe I traded my Honda Civic in for a Toyota. It still may show me Honda Civic because I've been asking for that for many years, if that makes sense. So I don't like it. I just think eBay needs to trust that the buyer is putting in what they're wanting and stop trying to, it puts people in a category where, like, am I stupid? I know what I typed in. Why am I not seeing what I want? Yeah. Even though I know it's on the platform.
It beyond frustrates me. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I will stop you. I won't even keep looking. I'll just forget that website and I'll move on to somewhere else.
Right. So then I go in and I reword what I'm asking for until I find it. I do it all the time when I'm doing research. Like in about an hour from now, I'm going to be doing some research online, and it's going to be doing that to me every other time I do a search. And I'm going to have to maybe put this word here, put that title here, and I know eventually I'm going to find what I'm looking for. Jovia says, what? Did I hear that right? You don't like a lot of bush. Bush on your face. Stop it. Bush is so 80s and 90s, right?
Nobody likes a bush.
Oh, geez. Makes me think of Revenge of the Nerds. Linda McBride says, AI can ship for you.
They
can't package it for me.
They can't package it for me. You got one heck of an AI, Linda.
TikTok says, as gas prices increase here shortly, I think the online buying will pick up. Cheaper to buy online than using expensive gasoline. Yep. And then Bobby Marshall says, that's right. Morning Ritual is checking all the listings with no views that are ending and dropping all the ending listings by 0.1%. Learn that trick from you, John. Awesome. And it's a trick that I haven't had to use this year because things have organically been selling pretty well. But, you can do that end item sell similar routine along with a, 0.1, 0.2% decrease in price and just keep doing that until it sells. I think you probably want to get more aggressive than 1% unless you're really doing pretty well with your sales. But glad it's working for you. Let's see. Dan says, I go out to main menu for every search because of what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think Noah Design is quite correct.
Well, was correct.
Was correct, but
at
I can't.
that moment.
The live is ending. So he said, guess what, John? The live is ending. And we're about the 2-hour mark. And I think.
And our spaghetti sauce is.
Yeah, I made some spaghetti sauce
right.
and I let it simmer for like the 2 hours we're doing the live. So I think it's just about right. But, you know, nobody knows what's going to happen here in the future. I think the best thing to do as a reseller is to stay positive. Let's hope eBay irons these things out.
Hang on tight.
And let's hope eBay in some way, shape, or form communicates these problems with us and even just let us know that they know our frustrations and they're working these things out. But putting these issues on the back burner and pushing forward regardless is yet another example about flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great weekend. Get out to yard sales. I think we're probably going to maybe hit some yard sales tomorrow and get those things up because Q4 is coming. And let's collectively will our way through and turn these sales around. So you will hear from us very soon. But if not, we'll see you on Monday.
We'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.